Hello, welcome to another episode. In this episode, I'm going to be working on this Prunus mahaleb, or St. Lucie cherry. It's a nice tree. I just picked it up from a show, and I'm excited to be working on this. It's just a little bit different. As you can see, it's a bit of some kind of raft style, and it's got multiple trunks. So it will be quite interesting. So this tree is being collected in Slovenia from the wild. So we call this Yamadori. So all of this here is all done by nature. So it's probably be growing as a slightly bigger bush in nature. And the collector has just chopped the longest ones off, so creating a more compact shape for bonsai. And yeah, it's got a lot of nice branches on there. So it's been collected for about 2 years now. So so it's kind of ready to work. So we've got some strong shoots on here. So it's been growing really well. As you can see here as well, that's nice and long. Another one, a long one there. So it's a good sign. It's doing really well. So we can work on it now. So if the tree is not ready, if it's a bit weak, if you got tiny little shoots like this on there, then, or like this, then I wouldn't work it. So probably next year they'll turn into these ones. So then you can work it really. So what we're gonna do first is I think this is gonna be the front, because you got all the branches are quite inside here, all the trunks. So have a look at the back. So it's quite open. So this one is coming towards you, but the other one here in the back, you can't really see it because that one is in the way. So of course we can try to tilt the tree in different directions, like this, or maybe up, just to kind of show it. But it's the easiest way to just use this front. So you can see you can see everything. So we established the kind of the front of the tree now. Now we're gonna have to decide what we're gonna prune off. So how high we're gonna make it really. So with multi-trunk trees, we just don't want them all on one line because it just looks too even. So every single trunk have to be on a different line really, different height. So that's the difficult part about it. It's just to make it look natural. So for now we're just gonna go big, small, smaller, smaller. So we just for the feeling, you need some balance here. Otherwise there's gonna be a big gap. So we just hopefully we can do that with some, because we've got some nice long branches there, so hopefully we can get some balance into that. First we're gonna take all the problem branches out, and then it's just gonna be a bit more clearer, and then we're gonna make a decision on that. So what I said about problem branches is we've got branches coming from the same point. So we've got 2 here, so I have to make a decision which one we're gonna prune off. We've got another 2 from the same point there, another one just coming up. It doesn't really make any difference for the design. So if we just, for example, there's 2 here from one place, this one looks a bit nicer because it just kind of goes down already. That one kind of goes up, so I'm gonna prune that one off. So for design point of view, it doesn't really make it much difference because I still got a lot of options there. And then if I do want to go to the route of chopping it all the way down and use this as a top, for example, then I can still do that. But it just, if I, for example, half the amount of branches on here, it just makes it a lot easier to see what's what, to make a good decision for what we're gonna do. So for example, we've got two coming from the same place here. So the criterion is normally like, well, if there's anything interesting on the branch. This one has two branches on there, so it sprouts from 1 to 2, so that's good. So you got kind of ramification on there, but it's just kind of poking in this way where this one already is, so I'm gonna remove that one for now. And then we got that one left. It's kind of straight, so there's no ramification on there, but this one is bendable, and it's not in the way of the other one here, so they're quite apart from each other. So over here we've got a big cluster of a couple of them. So again, we just have to make a decision on what we're gonna use. So again, that one is pointing upwards a little bit. That one's got 2 branches on there. That piece is dead there. Gonna prune it back. Gonna prune it back there, because you got junction there. And I'm gonna get rid of the top one. Still not bad. You got junction there, but there's just too many there, so we'll have to make a little decision. A small little bud in there, don't need that. Small bud. So for now we want clean, nice lines, so when we do start the wiring, it's going to be a lot easier to do. One here in the back. Again, it's not bad, you got a forking there, but it's just a little bit further than this one, so this one is a bit nicer in that way. We've got another one just coming from the axis. Want to get rid of them, because we just don't want anything growing from the base of that. So we just want to make the tree grow from these ends and not from there again. Just a couple more here. Just want to get rid of that. If you see any more new buds appearing like that, we just don't really want that, because we've quite already got a nice amount of branches to use on there, so we don't need any extra ones, unless we really want a branch in that position. Then we can say, all right, well, we're gonna leave that bud to grow, and then over the course of the year it can get quite long. Like some of them here, they can get quite long in one season, so don't be you can do quite a lot with just one bud, especially with deciduous trees. They grow really fast, so you can develop in a really good size branch in a short space of time. So this is very simple practice. So remove all the branches coming from the same point, reduce it to 1, and then you got more clearer view. Any branches are just crossing, don't really need to remove that. That's a little bit of a rule, but sometimes you can just you can fix that with a little bit of wire. So any crossing branch, not like that there, that's not crossing branch, but when you put some wire on, it isn't. So so then we're just only gonna prune. So again, we've got 2 here for one place. That one already forking, and that one's got some flower buds on as well, so we're gonna leave that on, and then we're gonna prune back that one there. Get rid of all the small buds. There's loads here as well, so you can just rip them off. You can use a brush, but I like to just keep budding up from places like this inside, so you have to keep an eye on it all the time, especially when you just pruned it. Normally the first pruning for most of deciduous trees is like May, June time, and then after a couple of weeks after that, the tree wants to grow again, but the first thing they do is grow from the bases. And from in here, as you can see here in the front, we've got a sucker coming right from the soil. So that's how they get multi-trunked, really. They just get bashed or broken, and then the tree just will regrow again from the base, or somewhere from a base, from a branch. We're just gonna shorten it back where we can as well. So this is, we don't really need that, so just gonna go back to the nearest junction there. Just that, so hopefully we can prune back a little bit further, so you got a few buds there. So this year, coming springtime, those will develop into more twigs. So the deciduous trees is not about creating this shape, now what we got here, because that's easy, because then you just got the outline of it, but it's the point of creating these the twigging, and then you get your little ones just growing upwards, basically. That's you find the twigging, and then you get this dense mass, so everything just start to kind of grow back up again like this, and then you'll have a nicer image, instead of just having a couple pointing in the outside in the right direction. So this is a very young branch, so what we want to see is as many bifurcation twigging on the branch as possible. So the more twigging we have, the older the tree is, or the older the tree will look, because it's got more twigging on. So, and as well, so every time we prune it, it kind of divides into two. So that also tells us the amount of time the tree has been in training, really. So if you see a lot of twigging on there, you know this has spent a long time doing so. So if you can see 3, 4, 5 cuts on the tree, then you know this has been in training for quite a long time. As the twigging, the finer twigging, that just takes a lot longer, because you don't want the tree to grow so fast, because if you let the tree grow really fast for all the years, then you get really long shoots. So what we want, passive growth. So once the tree starts maturing, so after a number of years, then we'll let the tree sit in a pot for a little bit longer in between repottings. So normally I will repot every 2nd to 3rd year for these, but then after a number of years, say 3, 4 years, then you start to just elongate that process. So then you start repotting every 5th year, something like that. So it just gets longer and longer, and then the tree starts slowing down a little bit, and then it just creates just smaller growth. And that's what you want, really. You want small, delicate growth on the ends, which just makes you fine ramifications. So I know people can really grow trees really well, so you get really big branches on there and stuff. There's also a point in bonsai that you don't need that fast growth anymore. So you need the fast growth to grow good sized branches everywhere. Once you've done that, then you start working on your ramification. Now come to a really interesting bit here. So that's just something that just spoke to me really, which is quite nice. So just a little bit of deadwood. So this can happen, just another branch fell on it, or just got trampled by some wildlife. So we're just gonna use some tools. Got a knife, got a little gouge, and a little bark stripper, just to find out where the live vein is really. So you can see some cracking down there. So we'll have to see, and there's a little bit of cracking down there as well. So I think this is all dead from there. And then we'll have to see where it's gonna go on that side. So what we want is just scrape bit by bit, and then just goes towards the live. So obviously this is alive, this part, because there's a live branch there. So I want to just bit by bit, we're gonna creep towards the live part. Then when we see anything, a color change. So this one here is a color change. This is just deadwood. So we just want to go on this side here. And set the wood is quite hard, so we just have to. There we go. So this is a little color change there. So that's the live part. So that's where we stop. So now we just have found it. Now we can chase that all the way down. I'm just gonna take the wire off for a minute so we can do the deadwood. So bend that back. It's quite solid in there. So that's why also we want to work on trees that have been in a pot for quite a while or well established. So you don't have any rocking in the soil. So, and over here it started to change color again. So from there on it's alive again. So that's it. Sometimes you can just get your knife under it and wiggle it a little bit. Can be a bit tricky, or a bit, because sometimes you can just poke it underneath and then just the whole live bark comes off as well. Yew trees sometimes do that, so you have to be careful too. So there you go. It's a lot of bark just come off there. There you go. Some live. That's also live there. That's good. As you can see here, got a nice little line in there already. A couple little lines. It's another line down there. So it's been dead for a while, so that just the elements has already been working the wood really. So the wood just kind of exposed now. It's got no bark on it, and then the wet gets in there, and then it dries up again, and just so on and so forth. So then all the fibers are moving, are expanding, and at a certain point the wood is dry. It just got no it's all dry, and then it kind of creates these nice cracks and fissures naturally. And then this is really good for when you want to do some carving, then you know where to carve really. So I can make really nice swirls and stuff in here, but if it's just going straight, it's not gonna look natural. So now we can carve this kind of direction. So still no color change there. This is still dead bark. So just have to keep going. There's a little bit there. So that's where it's still live. That's it. See, that's the line. Quite a lot of dead bark there, but I think it'll be quite nice. So see, we're gonna just do a little bit at a time. So when we use the cut side on this way, it's kind of almost like a little knife. We can just scrape away slowly, layer by layer. There we are. So there's a little bit of life down there. Of course, there's a bud there. Sometimes with Prunus, the Prunus species, once you cut them somewhere, they can die back all the way to the roots. So if the roots haven't got anything to feed, so for example, it's got some to feed here, it's all fine. As soon as this goes, you can lose a part of the life vein. So it's the same with black thorns, Prunus spinosa. That's a Prunus family. They do the same thing. So when you collect them and you cut them off at the wrong time and then don't sprout again for some reason, then they can die all the way back. So best is to leave them a little bit longer. Make sure you got some live branches where you cut them, and then that way you have more success of keeping the trunk alive. So over here, started from the top and then went all the way down. So there's another way to do it as well. And then we're gonna carve that later, so we won't see that little stub. So you can see where it's been cut off. So we want to just taper that a little bit more, and then it will look a bit more natural than just a flat cut. Now we've got this area here, we're just gonna chase it down, see if there's any dieback. I don't think so, because we had some live ones down there, so it's live down there, but we're not gonna need that anyway, so we're gonna chase it down a little bit further. Now we've sorted the smaller ones out. So there's a nice little V in there. So this is not done for prettiness, but this is functional carving really. So instead of just using your knob cutter and just make a nice hollow in there, same as on the back there, all just the colors just rolls into that. So instead of pretty or carving for aesthetics to make it look nicer, this is not that. That's what we're gonna do down there. So we're gonna enhance the wood to make it look nicer. So this is only for a functional purpose, to make the colors roll over into the deadwood basically. So here we got the two bigger ones left, and we're gonna do that with a Makita carving tool, a die grinder. So again, we've got a carving bit in there from Kaizen Bonsai. This is the larger terrier. It's called the terrier, and this is mainly for the bigger machines. So you've got a bigger head on there, so it's twice as big. Got 3 heads on there, so 3 cutting heads. So it'll have a lot more power, and that matches the machine as well. So if you're gonna put a big head on a small machine, it's gonna wear or the bit out. The bit is gonna get destroyed or your machine. So we don't want that. So because these are really dangerous machines, so we're gonna use the right machine for the right tool. So this is a little bit bigger, so we use a bigger tool. It can be done with a smaller tool. It takes a little bit longer, but just for the purpose of the video, we're gonna show you how to use both tools with. So this piece here is quite straight, but we've got some deadwood there. So what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna take a little bit of wood out of here away. So then it creates a different texture really. So instead of just having one piece of wood cylindrical like that, we're just gonna create a little bit of depth here. So the difference in depth just makes the eye just not look, it doesn't look as cylindrical anymore. I think this is still a little bit too plain, so I'm gonna take a little bit of wood out of there, so it just it creates a little bit more movement visual movement in there. So now the carving work is done, we can start to put some wire on this tree. So I like to start with the bottom one, and then we're gonna fit everything in position afterwards from there. Before we start wiring, we're just gonna have a look which ones are the bigger branches. I normally start with the biggest branches, and then we'll start with the smaller ones afterwards. So now we're gonna style this part, so it just sets tone for the kind of the rest of the tree. So what we want is, we're not gonna wire it for the outline of the tree, because we want, in deciduous trees, the structure is really important. So if we're just gonna leave straight branches, but we're gonna just point everything out so it just makes a nice little bush shape, it's not gonna be right. So once you look underneath, you just still got a straight line, which doesn't really look old. So what we want is as much as movement in there as possible. We don't want it twisted, because the tree itself is not twisted, but we want slight movement in there. Once the tree grow older, it will look more mature and it looks more natural. So everything kind of grows back to the light now. So the initial branch is already kind of pointing in the right direction. So that's why we got no wire on there, and we just wired them to there. So we just want to create a little bit of movement in there. Up and down. So this is the end result. I'm pretty happy with it. Quite unusual, which I really like as well. Not just your average bonsai tree. As this has been a Yamadori as well, grown in the wild. Something a bit unusual. I think really fits it well. I forgot. But yeah, just for first styling, I think it's not bad. All the branches are in the right places, and for now we're just gonna let them grow. I'm gonna prune them back about May, June time, when we just get the first, when it just kind of extends. We're just gonna prune it back, and these ones we're gonna extend a little bit more. It's a bit short here for this, the biggest tree in the composition, so we need some more heavier branches down there. That's why I left that one on there as well. We want to just create a bit more balance in there, because all the balance is on that side. There's not much on this side, so that's why we're gonna just grow these out as well to create that balance down there. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe down below, and you'll be updated with some more new videos of me.